Good evening, good day, everyone. I'm your host, Michelle White. This is Community Update 313. We've got my co-host, Rob White. What's up, Rob?
What up, though, Detroit? We have a great show today. I'm so excited to have these individuals on, and they will tell you who they are. They are phenomenal power speakers. They actually are part of a larger society. But I know we missed right outside of Black History Month, but I don't believe in the month that it should be subject to 1 month anyway. So this is going to be Black History Year. You hear me? So we're going to
Every
talk about
year.
everything that is
Mhm.
covering us all the time because it's not Black history, is called American history. So we'll be
Yes.
talking about this all year long. Not just this, but we'll be touching a lot of topics. So who do we have up today?
We have Olivia Porter, Jennifer Jackson, Brittany Chitani, Bradley Ross Jackson, Christiana Gray. Hello, everyone.
Hi,
Welcome to
everyone.
Community Update 313 podcast. Now, one of the things that we're going to be sharing, each of you are a part of the Operation Push, Rainbow Push, oratorical
Society.
Say it for me. The Push Excel
IJC Oratorical Society.
IJC Oratorical Society, which is one of the organizations that Reverend Jesse Jackson helped. He started it. He was the originator. And we're going to be talking about Reverend Jesse Jackson, who just passed away on at 84 years old on February the 17th, 2026. And if you ever needed a reminder of what it looks like to keep showing up for your people, his life was just that. He marched, he spoke up when it wasn't safe, and he carried the civil rights movement forward after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And then he was taken and he kept pushing for justice, pushing for decades of justice, not just in speeches, but in real work through Operation Push, Rainbow Push Coalition. He's been fighting health issues for years too, including Parkinson's disease and later progressive supranuclear palsy, and still stood as a symbol to keep hope alive for so many. So we send our prayers and everything out to the Jackson family and to all those. He left an imprint on us. And we are so glad to have each of you here, as well as Orlando Caesar. And so we're going to be, each of you will tell us a little something about what you've done and what you're currently doing, not done. You're currently doing, and we just want to memorialize and commemorate and tell about all the things that Reverend Jesse Jackson has done, and let this show be dedicated to just that and the works that he's done and how he's made an impact on your life. And if you're listening in today, we want you to go to Community Update 313. Go to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. But let us know the impact that Reverend Jesse Jackson has made on your life. You can put it in the comments. Please share this information out, because he has made a profound impact on many of our lives. So we'll start. Rob, go ahead.
I was going to say, let's start with Olivia Porter and really just talk about how Push Excel IJC Oratorical Society got going. Olivia?
Okay, well, thank you. Well, of course, we're all familiar with Rainbow Push, which was founded by the Reverend Jesse L. Jackson Sr. In 1975, he created Push Excel, and that was short for Push for Excellence. And the purpose of that was to inspire the youth into excellence, whether it be through academics, whether it be through sports, whether it be through science. And through that, there became the Oratorical Society, and that came later. It was created by a retired school teacher named Lee Sanders. And she really believed in the power of words and the power of eloquent speech. So she said, "Hey, how about we have an oratorical society to teach youngsters how to present themselves, how to
Mhm.
communicate effectively." So she started the Oratorical Society, which is an offshoot of Push Excel. And then in 2011, Judge Stanley Hill took over the Oratorical Society. And he, of course, is a judge in Chicago. He's also part of the Illinois Judicial Council, which is an organization of judges dedicated to really expose the Black judges in the city and get them involved in community service and mentorship. And so he partnered with IJC, Illinois Judicial Council, and Push. And
Mhm.
that's why the name is officially Push Excel / IJC Oratorical
Got it.
Society. And so
Got it.
IJC, they really act as great mentors. We have judges and attorneys come in and speak to the kids, give them also some strategies on how to communicate effectively. And they
Mhm.
also provide the funding for our contests. Every quarter
Mhm.
we have oratorical contests where the kids win cash prizes.
I love that. I love
Hmm.
that. So,
So go ahead.
question for you, Olivia. So, my son was a part of the Oratorical Society years ago, and I really just want to know because I think it requires a great amount of dedication for people like yourself, and you're a director, right? So, or the director. What made you say, you know what, this is more important to actually go into this particular thing? Because especially, and I'm not saying it to be negative, but a lot of times we go into sports or we go into something of the entertainment section. You're going, no, no, no. This is where I want people to be able to articulate how they feel, to be able to spread it from an intellectual side of things. What made you do that?
Well, I think ultimately I wanted to be a part of it because I think it's in my DNA. My mother was a grammar snob. My mother was also a school teacher. She believed in speaking correctly. She used to go on and on about how in school back in the 50s, they had a class on how to answer a telephone. So that
Mm,
you sound intelligent when you're answering a telephone. She
mhm.
drilled it into me, and I don't know if you know this, but I'm a speech pathologist. So
Oh,
I work with children who have difficulty communicating, but I also work with executives on presentation skills,
mhm.
articulation, diction, that kind of thing. And it means a lot to me because, yeah, I've seen people be judged harshly because of how they present themselves.
Agreed.
I've seen people be judged more positively simply because they knew how to present themselves. And I think it's something that we don't think about. This brings me back to, well, Reverend Jackson. When I was 8 years old, I went to church and he was one of the speakers, and it was
Mhm.
during MLK Day or right before MLK Day. And he said, no one can remember the kind of shoes that Martin Luther King wore. No one
Mm.
knew the clothes he wore. No one knew the car he wore, but they knew what he said and they
Yeah.
knew his words.
So
And
true.
and then I think about that now with Reverend Jackson. I have no clue the way he dressed, and I've seen him often, but I remember the words that he said. So I've
Yeah.
always known the power of eloquent speech, and I want to share that with the youth because I think we're getting a bit lax when it comes to language. So.
I definitely agree with that. My grandmother specifically, when I said yeah instead of yes, soap in the mouth. And I don't know, I'm a little bit older, so that was back in that time. There was no, heck or stupid. Those were bad words. So you couldn't use it. And there was definitely a nasty bar of soap that was going there. And I had to sit there, go, I will not say yeah again, and I look at it now, and a lot of people go, "Oh, well, you speak so well." I go, "Yeah." You think I had a long time to think about it, but there's this quote where the guy says, "What you do most is what you'll do best. If you spend hours in the gym, you'll probably become a good athlete. If you spend hours dribbling the ball, you'll probably be a good dribbler. If you spend hours in the library, you'll probably be good. You'll be in academia, and you'll probably be more aware of how to use your words, how to speak correctly, and how to use your thinking, and be a orator. So I love that quote because it literally just means whatever you put your mind to, if you actually go into it, that's what you'll do best at whatever level that you're at. And I love the fact that we have young people like Bradley, Brittany, and Christiana here that are going to be doing that, literally just that. Actually, Brittany is a coach, right?
Mhm.
Coach Brittany, Coach Jen, and Coach Orlando. So, what made you guys get into the coaching side of things? I guess we can start with Brittany first.
Absolutely. I am an attorney as well as I coach high school students in competitive speech. So,
Mhm.
helping young people find their confidence in public speaking
Mm.
and find their stride and the ability to overcome that fear is one of the things that fills me up. And so when I was approached about the Oratorical Society, I was thrilled to be able to add that to a space that I could bring my talents to assist not just high school students, but students even younger. So
Mhm.
I'm very, very excited to be a part of not only the Oratorical Society, but Rainbow Push as a whole and
Mhm.
be a part of that mission. So I'm thrilled to meet the excellent youth that we work with. And as you can see, as you've mentioned, it
Mm.
spans not only from Illinois, it spans the country. And so the
Yeah,
mission is huge. I love being a part of it.
I love that. So, just a question: what's something, because that is a, when you look at fear and what people are fear of, public speaking is one of the top of just getting in front of people, and it's usually not even big crowds because I'm that way. If it's a large crowd, I'm fine. If it's 10 people, I'm like, like, so what's something that you use to help your students, give somebody just a small tidbit of things that they can do to push past that anxiety?
For sure. I let them know to either look at the top of the heads, so it
Mhm.
looks as though they're looking people in the eye, but they're
Mhm.
looking over them, so it doesn't feel as though they're directly interacting with everyone, but the audience feels that connection. I
Mhm.
also allow them to have them imagine that it's their family members in the room, not
Mhm.
strangers. That way, if they're seeking the connection, they can connect with the individuals that they know and feel comfortable with. So even
Gotcha.
if they don't have a physical person in the room that they know, they can imagine their loved one's face on a focal point. And if you have a focal point in the room, that can ground you as you're speaking.
Mm. Okay, I love that,
Excellent. I
and
remember
hopefully
that
people
one
can use
too.
that.
Oh, I remember that one too. I also was taught and grew up to enunciate my words correctly, the importance of saying yes and not yeah, and to look at the top of the heads of people. That helps eliminate some of your nervousness. Or look at the clock if there's a clock on the wall, you need to make, but you kind of have to look up and down because you need to make some kind of contact with your audience, but not directly, which can make you nervous.
Mhm. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I totally agree. I tell them, look at the forehead, even cheekbones, sometimes the ear, anything in this area is fair game.
Yeah,
When I
yeah,
teach presentation skills to executives, they also get nervous. And these are people who
yeah.
have MBAs and fancy degrees. And I say, in general, if you're very nervous, it's because you're thinking about yourself and not
Mhm.
about the message. So focus on, what do you want the audience to feel? What do you want the audience to do as a result of listening to you? And by putting your energy toward, this is what I want you to do, you're thinking more about serving them and not your own nervousness. So I also try to incorporate some of that. But there's so many different strategies to use. Just pick and choose what works at that moment.
Agreed, agreed.
Since we have
I
several coaches on here today, we know you're each going to share some of your tidbits that will help our audience. And then we definitely know that Reverend Jesse Jackson was one who spoke with such passion and delivered his messages with such power and passion. I can remember him with the I am somebody. And he would empower and galvanize everyone to come together to know that you are somebody, and have you repeat that I am somebody, I'm black, I'm beautiful, and in the various aspects of that speech, And that's so important. And I think it's important even to always speak to yourself and know who you are and speak positively over ourselves. Rob, you were going to say something. Any of you, we want you to chime in. We've got 3 coaches on here
Yeah.
and 2 students. I think you mentioned that a moment ago, Rob.
Mhm. No, I was going to say, and it's actually good that you said that. Speaking of Jesse Jackson, one of the things that I teach to sales, I do sales trainings for large groups of people or a few groups of people as a consultant. And one of the things that I teach them is C factors, right? Smile, eye contact, and enthusiasm. And all those things go into exactly what you were talking about, Michelle. It's literally, you smile. Why? Because it's contagious eye contact, but not too much eye contact, because that's weird, right? Eye contact is intimate. So I'm going to look at your forehead. I'm going to look at right at your nose where it looks like I'm looking at you. I'm going to go up and down your face and scan the room. And enthusiasm, I guess the best way to do it is trailer, right? And because you're looking at somebody and you're going, if I was to read a 4-year-old a book and I said, okay, well, the dog said wolf. That's not, I'm not excited about that. But if I go, then the dog said wolf, then the kids go, well, what else did the dog do? So now they're excited about this moment with the dog, all because you sold the story to make them believe that they're actually there. And I think those are some of the key elements that you see good orators. And whenever I think about like somebody like Barack Obama, he has that amazing pause. He goes, well, here's the deal. And you're like waiting for him to finish that next point. But we know what it is because we're hanging on every single word, because he's not only articulating, he's waiting for you to go, well, what are you going to say next? That is, so we call those C factors as it pertains to becoming better at getting people to listen and to be more attentive to what you're saying. So next we have Jen Jackson. So Jen, what got you into becoming a coach?
So for me, when I was younger, I was always someone who was always doing like speech competitions and things like that. I have vivid memories of doing kind of a precursor to being on a speech team in junior high. I did the ACTSO competition in high school. For a while, I actually wanted to become a speech writer. I thought that I was going to be a political speech writer for a moment, because I've always just really loved storytelling and words and the power of words and what they can do. So I'm not doing it anymore right now, but I spent 6 years teaching basic public speaking as a member of the Communication, Media, Arts, and Theater department at Chicago State University. And so it was literally my job. I taught 3 different speech classes on any given day, 5 for the semester. And when I learned about this opportunity to do this with kids, I jumped on it, like just shaping young adults that are the future speakers of this country. I thought that it was an amazing opportunity.
I love it.
Oh, yeah. So, I brought you in on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, how did you come? No, I brought you in. We did a training session for attorneys, public speaking for attorneys. And yes, and I brought her in. Fabulous. And then
so let me ask.
Right. It's so funny, the trickle down effect, because Olivia brought in Jen brought me.
Okay. So this is just a sisterhood. I see it. Okay. So asking for the attorney. So were you guys all a part of like the debate team and things like that when you were in high school? No.
There was not a debate team at my high school, but I was a part of the competitive speech team, which is where it's a consistent thing for me of once you learn and you achieve that, like you get to the mountaintop, you reach back. And so now I coach on the speech team.
Got you. Okay.
I was on the speech team for a semester. I was so bad. I was nervous, self-conscious. And it wasn't until my late 20s, I took an improv class at Second City. And that really helped open me up. And after I took acting classes and I started acting, and then I started doing it more at work, training and development. So I was a late bloomer when it comes to this. And I always encourage people, it's never too late to learn.
I wouldn't have been able to tell. Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
And I only did speech team for 2 years because they would not let me compete in ones that I wanted to do. And so I quit. I was like, I'm not going to do what you want me to do. I'm here because this is what I want to do. And I know that this is my skill set.
Yeah.
And so good luck with your little speech team. I will not be waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday.
And fast forward, now you're the coach of the speech team.
And now I'm coaching.
Now, Rob, didn't you do a debate team?
Yeah, all through high school, I was a part of the international debate team. So we used to go to Canada and we would debate, different high schools and stuff around the city, which I'm from Detroit, Michigan. So we would go all around there and, compete against the schools in the suburbs and then go across the water and compete against them. And I had a blast. And at one point I was like, you know what? I feel like I could be an attorney. And I was like, oh my God, that's how long you want me to be at school? I'll just do business. I'll do business. No, but I have a great respect for people such as yourself, Coach Brittany, because of the dedication that it takes to even complete that degree. Doctors, lawyers, educators, I go, wow, you are in continual education all the time, like all the time. And we're learning, obviously, as you're growing, you're learning. But to physically have to go back to a classroom setting and learn anything right now, be like, oh my gosh, getting up at whatever time to go back to class would be crazy.
Well, we want to encourage our wonderful students that are still in
absolutely.
school.
Absolutely.
Yay.
Absolutely.
And we've got Mr. Bradley Ross Jackson, who is currently a Morehouse student. And we have Christiana Gray, who is a sophomore at Marian Catholic School in Chicago. Now, most of you are from the Illinois area, correct? And Bradley, I believe you said you were actually from Kalamazoo, Michigan, but now you're at Morehouse.
Well, yes, that's correct. Greetings, everyone. I'm Bradley Ross Jackson. I'm from Bloomington Normal, Illinois. I also lived in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and then I came back here in 2016. But yeah, I am a sophomore at Morehouse College, or The House, and
I like it.
I'm majoring in journalism, and my minor is education. So I definitely thank you all for this opportunity to be here today.
I love the way he came in like that. That was strong,
everything he does.
Articulate. Wasn't that great?
I feel like you're going to be the next Jesse Jackson if anything happens, because even your presentation is strong. So why don't you talk about some of the advantages of going to an HBCU?
Yes, definitely. Thank you for the compliments as well. So being a Morehouse College scholar, I would say there's a lot of advantages as you're able to gain a lot of connections. And then one of the quotes that we say on campus is definitely the 5 wells. And those are to be well-read, well-spoken, well-traveled, well-dressed, and well-balanced. And with all of those components, we are able to be phenomenal achievers and aspire for greatness as well. And then inspire those that are coming after us to make sure that we have a great future coming along after us.
Love that. I love that. So what's something, and how far are you into you're an undergrad currently, freshman, sophomore?
I'm a sophomore.
You're a sophomore. What's something that's different now? So you traveled because now you're in Georgia. What's something that you took with you or learned over your freshman year to your sophomore year being on your own?
Wow, that is a great question. So yes, being on my own is kind of like they sound grownish. Watch out, world, I'm grown now, right? And yeah, definitely my time at Morehouse has been great. And I would say a takeaway that I've had is really to make sure to be on time to a lot of events, because I know with that aspect, you're able to get a lot of opportunities there and to also share your skill set as well. And I would also like to share a little bit about my experience with Operation Push, if that's okay as well.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you all again for allowing me to be on your podcast today, and condolences to Reverend Jackson's family. And Reverend Jackson was a powerful figure during the civil rights movement. And I would say from about 2016 to 2021, I was able to meet with Operation Push on Saturdays in Chicago, Illinois. My parents and I drove 2 hours to Chicago to enhance my oratorical skills. and to learn under a program that was founded by Reverend Jesse Jackson. Since I've won a plethora of first place awards since the age of 3 years old, I wanted to find the best place to strengthen my oratorical skills and my poetry recitation skills as well. So throughout that time, I was able to attend sessions that would allow me to perfect those skills in my craft. And Operation Push Excel leaders such as Miss Olivia, Mr. Judge Stanley, Mr. Orlando Caesar, and so many others, they have assisted me with my oratorical skills. And I remember many moments spent with Reverend Jesse Jackson, but specifically, I will never forget this one Saturday morning when I took a quantum leap by combining excerpts of the works of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Reverend Jesse Jackson. The combination of their greatness resulted in a standing ovation, and it went something like this. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, be a trail. If you can't be a sun, then be a star. For it isn't by that size that you win or fail. Be the best of whatever you are. But I must be respected, protected, never rejected. I am God's child. You are somebody. You are somebody. Yes, you are somebody. So I definitely commit to carrying the baton of Reverend Jesse L. Jackson Sr. Thank you.
That was wonderful.
I gotta give you.
Yes, that was wonderful.
I love it. And next we have Christiana Gray.
Well, do we want to talk to Mr. Orlando Caesar, who is one of our male?
You talk to him first,
coaches
yeah.
here? Yeah.
Let's talk to him first.
We're
So what
coming,
got you
we're
into
coming back
coaching?
to you, Miss Gray.
What got you into
Hello,
coaching,
Mr.
Mr. Orlando?
Caesar, Coach Caesar. I know you. That was a proud moment, I'm sure, for each of you coaches and for our director of the Push Excel IJC Oratorical Society program, because that was one of your young proteges.
I saw him clapping in the background.
Oh,
We can't hear you, Mr. Caesar.
The volume is not up.
try a different mic
Or turn your volume up, the producer said.
Yep.
Robinson.
And while we're working on that, let's go to Christiana Gray while you're figuring that out. I'll work with you on the side because we can't hear you. As soon as you get that, I'll be able to see your volume up there, and we'll go from there. So, Christiana Gray, we are on you, ma'am. What got you into this? Tell me about, and you're in 10th grade, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, what are you doing now? Tell me about your high school. Tell me what got you into the oratorical program.
Of course, yes. My name is Christiana Gray. I'm 15 years old. I'm a national public speaker. I'm a part of many organizations like the NAACP, which is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. I'm a civic ambassador, and I'm the newest CEO and founder of CWC, which is called Children Who Care, which is just a humanitarian non-for-profit dedicated to helping families in Chicago and all around the world. It's an extension of another non-for-profit called the Awareness Foundation. So a few things about oratorical, which got me into
Wait a minute. We just mentioned all of that.
Right.
We have to wait a minute for a second. I heard that you're a CEO, you're an ambassador, you're 15, ma'am.
Oh,
Yes.
and also don't forget 5 years ago she got a 4-year scholarship to Tennessee State, and she wasn't even in high school yet.
Wow.
Speaking
Congratulations.
skills.
Thank
Wow.
you. Thank you so much.
Let's hold on, because you just listed off 50-year-old's worth of accomplishments that you have accomplished before the age of really being able to drive. So what made you become an entrepreneur?
Well, my mom is an entrepreneur, so I think a lot of what she was doing and seeing what she was doing as a young age really helped me to want to go into the entrepreneur field. And my dad is an entrepreneur also, so he was a part of it as well. But I think Reverend Jesse Jackson, and seeing the work that he did and helping young people and helping families, even people that he didn't even know, it really pushed me to want to help others, especially with the organization that I'm the founder of, CWC, called Children Who Care, which is really just focused on helping people across the nation and helping people who live in poverty and helping people in Africa and providing resources and necessities for them. So yeah.
So okay, so let's break down CWC. What does that look like? So you said you're helping people in what specific way? Because this is a promo for your business. So tell us exactly how we can help, what we can do, who we need to send it to. Give us all the things.
Okay, yes. So it's an extension of the Awareness Foundation, which is really just focused on education and financial literacy. And that non-for-profit is run by Shantae Gray and Vincent Gray, who are my parents. So the extension of the CWC is really just focused on giving money to poor families and people in poverty, building houses. Right now it's still in the beta phase, so I have to write down a few essays to get some more money to fund it and start creating those houses and everything. But most of the information should be on the Awareness Foundation, which I think is on theawarenessfound.org. So you can look it up online, and I think you can donate there and you'll see more of the information there. But I started CWC, I want to say last year, after being the Illinois delegate for the National Physicians and Medical Scientists. So when I came from there, that's when I started the organization, and it became an extension of the Awareness Foundation. So it's still in beta phase.
Gotcha.
It's not fully out yet, but I'm working on it. So it should be done with everything probably later this month.
Okay, so we want to be well, we always say that we're a blessing to be a blessing, right? So we want to be able to give you something. Please let us know at the end of the show if you guys have any other way, where there's immediate money that we can send to you. Please let us know. We can get with you after the show. So we definitely want to be behind that. I love young entrepreneurs. I love people that are doing things for themselves, push themselves forward. And you're not only doing it for yourself, you're doing it to help other people.
Yes.
So we definitely want to be a part of that.
Wait, Cristiano, that was awarenesswhat.org?
Awarenessfoundation.org.
Okay.
Awarenessfound.org.
Okay.
And I think before we go to Mr. Caesar, Bradley, didn't you say you were a scholarship recipient as well?
Yes, that is correct. I am receiving a $5,000 scholarship from Operation Push to continue my success at Morehouse College as well. And then I would also like to say that I'm the youngest NAACP Youth Activist of the Year Image Award recipient. And I also have a kindness campaign similar to Cristiano, which is called Be Kind, or Bradley Encourages Kindness. And with this kindness campaign, I make sure to give back to the students at the Bloomington Housing Authority as well. So yeah, I definitely want to plug that. And also want to show a couple of awards that I won that I have here. So this one is from Jack and Jill of America for oratorical. And then I also have another one of those as well. So just want to plug those as well. Yeah, thank you all.
Wonderful.
I think it's great that you guys brought on the superstar of superstars for this show. I'm just impressed that they are their age doing what they're doing, which is completely, I mean, you guys are anomalies in what you're doing. If nobody else tells you, you are excellent, you are great. But I can hear your parents in the back, helping you out. I know mom and dad are back there going, yay, so this is a beautiful
I'm proud
thing.
of them, and they're not even my children. Yeah. But they are, because it takes a village for everyone.
Absolutely. So
and
this is a beautiful thing.
Yes, and they're going to excellent universities and HBCUs. And Brittany, I think you told us you're a grad of which HBCU?
Absolutely. I graduated from Howard Law School.
Howard Law School. And then Bradley, where you are is where at Morehouse is where Dr. Martin Luther King went. And Reverend Jesse Jackson was a part of North Carolina A&T. Mm-hmm. And where did you say you're going to go, Christiana?
Tennessee State, right?
Tennessee State.
I'm thinking about it. I do have a scholarship, but I'm thinking about going to Georgetown since I want to become an attorney, but I'm still looking.
I'm not mad at you, by the way. I think
I saw the
they
clap.
would clock it. That's the new thing they do. No, but I just think that it's beautiful, and I know your parents are smiling from ear to ear, and to me, that's what it's all about. As Olivia Porter said, it's about raising that next generation. I think Jen said it too. I think all the coaches have said that. Orlando, how's the mic volume?
I don't know if you could hear me or not.
There you
Can you hear me?
go.
Yay.
Yeah, there you are.
Yay.
There you are.
Usually
Okay,
earphones will do it. Well, first
there
I'd
you
like to
go.
say I am honored to work with Olivia, um, Brittany, and Jen because they are phenomenal in what they do. And when I see the product of what we do um, with Bradley and Christiana, that also warms my heart because these individuals are so quick to learn. And when I take messages around to be it a company or other students and let them know about their achievements, it gets them a little bit more competitive. When I was a youngster, I heard Jesse Jackson speak when he was kicking off Operation Breadbasket. I was on a school on the west side. And at that time, I was going around the city delivering James Weldon Johnson's The Creation. And so when I heard Reverend Jackson speak, that kind of warmed me and motivated me. And and I'm the oldest of 11 kids. So I'm always correcting my brothers and sisters on their speech, which drove them absolutely nuts. But throughout my career, I spent 32 years working for AstraZeneca Pharmaceuticals. So I was in the corporate space. You know, I had 600 and some people working for me as an area sales director. I was the head of sales training. So we had to indoctrinate our people on the selling process and how it works. When we would have national meetings and the vice president of marketing would walk off the stage, he'd turn to look at me to see how he had done. So I'd give him the thumbs up and so forth and so on. And so when I retired in 2008, it was a matter of where can I go and what can I do to help people? Because I have some exposure from the different things I've seen in my life. I've developed some experiences from going through those things, and some expertise came as a result of that. So the point became, where can I take this exposure, the experience, and the expertise and pass it on? Because if I go prematurely, if I don't pass it on, I can take it with me.
That's
So
right.
while I'm here, how can I pass that along? I've written 12 books. I've been on the radio. I do a lot of things. And one of the things I learned in my seven corporate relocations was like, why does the brother always have to move? You know, and why does the brother always have to justify and has to almost overachieve to be able to speak? But then one day I sat down and said, everything I've learned, all the places I've been, the connections that I have, it's not for me. It's so I can pass it on to somebody else. And I can say, as a result of my exposure, let me tell you what I know.
Yeah.
And so when it came to the point where I realized this, like recently, I did this one word thing. I call it WAFO Jafua. WAFO Jafua, GIFUA. WAFO, we are for others. Jafua, God is for us all.
Mm.
So when you see me with things like this around my neck, that's the kind of stuff I use to remind me that I am not here for me. I've learned some things, passed some things along, but I am here to help others. So as a part of the Oratorical Society, I'm getting better in the presence of these young ladies I told you about, and that improvement is allowing me to then pass it on to someone else, because I want people to know that your uniqueness is not a weakness. So are you in alignment with your assignment? So all of this brings me to almost a stage of euphoria. When I get off these phone calls, my wife said, anything for the kids, anything for the kids. And so that's kind of who I am and why I am always learning, always passing it on. And when I talk to students, I say, look, I grew up on the west side of Chicago. Okay. I went to high school on the south side of Chicago. And I went downstate to Bradley University to get my undergrad in biology. So I'm always learning. And if I won't say if I can do it, you can do it. I'm saying I've done it and you can do it.
All right. That's awesome. So, Mr. Caesar, let me ask you real quick. I'm sorry, Rob.
Go ahead.
With and actually this is to each of you. Are there more young ladies that join and become a part of the Oratorical Society, or do you have an equal amount or a good percentage of young men that are part of the Oratorical Society, the Push Excel IJC Oratorical Society? And if not, how do you gather more young men to become a part of this? Because sometimes we have organizations, a flood of organizations for young women, and not nearly enough to mentor and encourage our young men.
Okay, I could jump into that.
Question.
It
go
seems
ahead.
like Olivia should go. No, it seems like you should go first on this.
Okay, I'll go first. Currently, it does seem like we're having more females who are more actively involved. Who we see who are actively involved. It wasn't always that way when I first started. It was more half and half. When I first started with the Oratorical Society 7 years ago. And maybe you all can help me out with this. I don't know what it is. But I do know that I can get gentlemen more involved when I give them a reason behind joining the Oratorical Society, such as this can help you in job interviews. You know, even if you don't want to compete, even if you don't like reading a poem, still, when you go for your job interviews, when you go for your college interviews, when you're meeting your in-laws for the first time.
And when you start your own business.
Yes.
When you're going before to get bank loans or grants or whatever it is, or just you need to articulate well. You need to present, because the first impression that someone's going to have from you is not just when they see you, but when they hear you over the phone.
Yes, absolutely. And I drill all of my participants also on how you present yourself via Zoom, because this is now life. If I see another kid like this or like this, I tell them, center yourself, have a light, because this is how people read you. But it's interesting that you brought up men, because I remember when I first started volunteering with Push Excel and Judge Stanley Hill, he was in charge. We had an in-person competition. And the first, second, and third place winners were all Black men, all three of them. And he said, this is the only lineup I ever want to see a Black man in, is this lineup here, first and third place. And he just got massive applause for saying that, because at that time on the news, there's a lot of talk about Black men doing this and this and this and going to jail. And I thought that was a beautiful thing to see. But we do have a lot. How many, Mr. Caesar? We had about 22 kids at our last virtual session. We have virtual sessions every 2 weeks. And I would say about half of them this time were young men. So we're starting to get young men more.
And if you look from a society standpoint, I worked in the pharmaceutical industry for years. When I started, we had 250 sales reps and probably 8 women. Okay. 3 years or so down the road, we had 400 and some women. So, and we find out that in the interviews, the women tend to many times interview better because they're more verbal. And so that was something. And when I would talk to the guys, and they all want to be sports figures, I said, at the end of your career, which on average will last 3 years, what are you going to do? And they say, I want to be a sports announcer. You will not be a sports announcer if you cannot.
Sure won't.
If you cannot speak.
Sure won't.
And you've heard people who aren't gifted at it try to speak. So if you want to extend your career, it's incumbent upon you, because as you said earlier, Rob, that public speaking is a fear that people have.
Mhm.
So if I can get you to the point where you can master that, people want to come alongside of somebody like Christiana and Bradley who speak so well, and you
Yeah.
want to be a part of their success. So if you've taken the initiative and learned how to speak correctly, and you get in meetings, I see people in meetings, and I say, if it's a large meeting, I say, what you want to do is raise your hand and ask a question. And let me tell you why you do that. Because when you do that, you have effectively introduced yourself to everybody in the room.
Absolutely.
So when there's a break, somebody's going to walk up to you and ask you a question. And we tell the students that every interaction is an interview. So
That's
whatever
right.
exposure that you have, and you're on your P's and Q's and your best behavior, being able to speak that and articulate that, people are going to align that with leadership and
That's so
taking that
true.
risk of stepping out there.
I can jump in with
Agreed.
that and admit that that works in just about every social situation, not just at work, but even when you're at either social engagements, anywhere you go, that is something that is a fantastic trick to have in your pocket, just because a lot of times people who are not as confident or vocal have the same thought. And so if you're confident enough to verbalize your question or your thoughts and say it eloquently enough and energetically enough, of course they're going to flock to you in the end and say, I thought the same thing and I'm so glad you said it because I wanted to, but I didn't have the confidence to speak. So what we teach our students and what I'm so glad to see that they receive is having not only the ability to speak, but the confidence to do it as well.
So to our young people, real quick, to our young people, do you two have had do you have and have you had opportunity to share what you're doing with the Push Excel Oratorical Society and how to think? So have you had a chance to share that? Share it with other students, both in college and in high school as well?
Yes, I can start. So even being a moral scholar, I could see just like through conversations that I've had that my peers often say, Bradley, you're actually using multisyllabic words. That's very interesting. And I say, yes, I definitely like to articulate these multisyllabic words because of Operation Push and to make sure to get my name out there as well. And then with that experience, I was able to be featured in a magazine that was actually for my neighborhood. And they were able to highlight they're able to highlight my successes and really to have a backstory to share how Operation Push has impacted and inspired me as well.
I love that.
And Christiana?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. When I externed at the Daily Center, I had to learn sort of the hard way that communication is definitely key. And so I shared some of my experiences at Push Excel with some of my friends, and I think one of them joined just the recent what is it called again? The recent
Session.
the recent session a few last Saturday. So definitely I think that sharing that helps more people and helps them to join. I think people are really interested when they hear about it. And yeah.
Thank you both.
One of the things that, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, but one of the things that, especially from the male side of things, because I was forced into doing, not forced, but I was pushed into doing that.
You were encouraged.
And I used to be encouraged, but pushed, encouraged, depending on the, But one of the things that I saw from that, because I was the athlete, I did play sports, and I was like, oh, I don't want to go to 4-H. And it was a community group where, you would go out to the environment, help people and give back and do the soup corners, the soup kitchens. And I remember when I think I was 11 or 12, and I became the president. And then I had to speak to this large group of people, maybe it's about 400 or 500 people here. And I'm the president speaking on behalf of our group. And I wasn't the oldest. And I remember thinking about that. And then I was on a public access channel doing a thing called Got Caught Now What, where it was like making the right decision, you know, watching your friends steal. And it was funny because all my friends were like laughing at me, but they still show that today on like public access channels. And I just want to be an encouragement to you guys that a lot of the things that we would be considered to be unpopular or not cool when you're in high school or by college, people realize that it's kind of like, okay, you should be doing something. But really in high school, it's shunned sometimes and a lot of times in education because it's not the cool thing to do. People, when you get older, all those things that were not cool, those guys and girls become the millionaires. Those guys and girls become the people that you look up to and wish you would have acquired those skills, because then you see that, hey, you had to choose your heart, whether you learned it now or which was the easier way when you were young and didn't have bills, didn't have to worry about jobs or things like that. You have to learn it now that you're 30, 40 years old, because nobody will hire you if you don't know how to speak. And if you do get hired, it's going to be for something that you don't want to do. So I will always tell people, choose your heart. Both of them suck, you know, when you start, but then you get better and you get better and you get better. And then you start to like it. And all of a sudden you're the CEO of a company and, you know, in middle school or in high school. And now you're, you know, you've won 50 million awards, Bradley, by sophomore year, you know, so all those things are encompassing of you being great. Do not stop doing that. It will always be good, always be popular to do the right thing. I just wanted to put that in there for you as somebody who's saying, hey, I was that kid and I was in drama class, but also played sports. And I was a part of DECA, the marketing club. But people were like, oh, man, you want to sell cookies. But now I teach sales teams, right? So then they go, oh, man, can you help me get a job? Oh, I thought I was whack. You know, I thought it was lame. I thought it was this. But now you want my help to tell you how to market something. Interesting. So use that as your catapult to push you forward.
I was going to say, first of all, I'm sorry, Mr. Caesar. Do you want to go?
No.
Oh, and I was going to just tell Bradley, I'm just really, I didn't know you were majoring in journalism. I'm proud because when I was in college, any type of communication was considered, if you're majoring in communication, a blow-off major or an easy major. I'm like, no, if you do it correctly, communications and journalism can be very difficult and also extremely rewarding. One last thing, my husband is in IT. He's an engineer. And he says what he sees, people who have a degree in IT, they get hired quickly, but they don't get promoted quickly because many of them don't have the soft skills of communication. And he says when people come to him, hey, how do I get in IT? He tells them major in English, major in communications, because we will teach you IT. But it's about communicating with your external and your internal customers that will get you promoted very quickly. It's such a strong skill to have. And that's all I wanted to say, Mr. Caesar.
No, and you made me think of something else. I was the senior director of diversity and work life in my last job. And when we worked with the students in the Asian community within the company, one of the complaints that they had was, we are selecting us for the jobs because they said our communication skills weren't clear. So speaking to the value of that, and one thing, when I was a kid, I tell this story to kids. I was 10 years old walking down the street, and I was a skinny kid. You know, I was the guy who was too light to fight and too thin to win. Okay, so I'm walking down the street at 10, and this lady and these two girls walk up to me, and they said, "Hi, little boy, what's your name?" I said, "Orlando." They said, "Oh my God, what's wrong with your voice?" Now I said, if you're taking that same scenario 10 years later, and we walk down the street, and I said, they say hi to me, and I said, "What's your name?" They say, "Orlando." I said, you'll get a different impression. And I say that to say, sometimes you may be ahead of your time, and your friends may not appreciate where you are now. Rather than throw away who you are, do it, work on it, get good at it. And when you become successful, they'll say things like, "Oh, I didn't know you could do that." Then you say, right. But you become that double agent so that you can blend in with them, hang out with them, but you know where you want to be in life. So that's the thing you want to grab onto, being that double agent, because you may be ahead of your time. Don't give up your dream because they're not there yet.
Thank you.
I wanted
Jen,
to.
did you want to share something?
I did. I just wanted to pop back on really quickly because we brought the thread back around to journalism, and just especially right now when so many people are trying to silence journalists, how important it is to have a strong voice and to have a point of view and to go out there with integrity. That's what I went to school for. I got my bachelor's degree in communications. I got my master's degree in journalism. I worked as a journalist for 1.5 years. And just looking at everything that they're throwing at journalists right now, it really lights me up to see that there are still people that are interested in going into that field, especially making sure that unheard voices get heard. And so I just wanted to pop in and say just how important it is at a time like now to have people that are still willing to take on that fight.
I love that.
Yes, those are. I would like to share something real quick. But yeah, those are definitely valid responses. And with the topic of journalism, I have been able to explore a lot of fields. I actually had an internship with WMBD, which is a CBS News affiliate in Peoria, Illinois. And I was able to get lots of top stories out there as well. And I know you all will be excited to hear about this, is that I have advanced into the HBCU oratorical competition. So this is the first time they're doing it. And yeah, I'm very glad to share that with you all as well.
I love that. I love that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we are coming to the close of our show. I would love to have you guys, either individually or at another time, because there's just a wealth of knowledge here that I feel like people could attach to. And so we can talk about that afterwards. But I do have one question for you, and you guys can kind of give me a space where you are. Wait, you have one more question?
That one question, because I know your question. Real quick. Another thing you can do, and I'm going to send you some information. There are a lot of male mentor programs, some that we've had here on our show, and I'm going to share that information about the Oratorical Society with them. And as people are mentoring, that will be a good thing for the male mentor programs. As men are mentoring young men, to get them involved, to go over the speeches with them, because we need to have all our sexes involved in learning to better articulate as they matriculate through society. Yes,
no, just so my last question, and it can be brief. It's not that deep of a question, but we just like to have fun and go wherever you are. So I know most people are in Illinois right now. Okay, so if there were 3 places, let's break down to 2 because there's more of you. Well, I know. If there were 2 places that you would suggest or say, hey, this is where you should go when you come to Illinois, where would they be? Let's go from the top. Let's start with Miss Olivia Porter.
Oh, the first thing I thought of was a restaurant called Virtue. It's a Black-owned restaurant, and the owner, he was on the TV show Top Chef. So, Virtue, excellent restaurant. And then this is very touristy, but hey, I'll hold on to it. Navy Pier.
Navy Pier. Okay. Now I write all these down because I especially when we travel, we love to go and see all the things. So if it's bad, I'm going to call you and say bad. No, I'm joking around, but we love the suggestions. I've actually heard of Virtue, so I definitely check that out. Let's go to Jen Jackson. Miss Jen.
I will second Virtue,
okay.
just because I love food. And if I could throw another restaurant out there, I'm going to say Carnival. I used to drive past it on the expressway all the time. It's super colorful. The food is good. The ambiance is good.
And it doesn't have to be a restaurant. Anything.
Well, I was going to say,
whatever.
I'm going to encourage you to go to one of the museums. We have so many incredible museums.
Field Museum.
We have the Field. We have the
Science and
next?
industry.
We have the Art Institute. We have the
DuSable Museum.
planetarium. I drive past DuSable Museum every day. So
Okay,
there's
okay.
tons of great museums.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, Miss Brittany.
Okay, so I'm selfish, so I'm going to promote folks that I know.
Okay,
I would
nothing wrong with
put
that.
out their chemistry restaurant. I know the owner of that. It's a business partner of my brother. He has multiple restaurants, not only in the Hyde Park area, but around the city of Chicago and other ventures as well. But chemistry is a flagship, beautiful. It's a place that has Instagrammable spots. So if you want to take that cute picture along with getting some fabulous food, that is a great spot to go to. And similar to Coach Jen, I'm going to have a cultural experience as well. Another thing I didn't mention about myself, I'm the non-equity wing chair of the Jeff Committee here in Chicago. So I'm absolutely going to promote theater. That's a huge,
Okay, all right, I like that.
Chicago's a huge theater town.
Mhm.
And I'm going to put it out there, controversial statement. I think we're even better than New York when it comes to theater. So
Okay.
at the top of your show, you mentioned that we're just going to continue the vibe beyond Black History Month. So I love all of my specifically non-equity theaters, but I love all of my theaters. I want to highlight Definition Theater. It is a primarily Black theater. It is one that is a neighborhood space. It's a smaller storefront spot, but they put out a lot of really great work. And so I would really like to just give them some play. So Definition Theater.
All
Thank
right,
you.
all right, all right. Thank you, Coach
Bradley?
Brittany. Bradley.
Some places to highlight.
In Bloomington. He's in Bloomington, Illinois.
Oh, Bloomington, yeah.
Well, I know Bloomington, Normal, Illinois is definitely a small town. Here, I would recommend a lot of the restaurants we have because we have a lot of them. But I would definitely say for a larger scale, we could go to Springfield, Illinois, which is the capital of Illinois. And mainly because that's where President Obama launched his presidential campaigns. And I was honored to attend both of his inaugurations. And then for Chicago, I would say Michigan Avenue, as it showcases all of the malls, stores, and Black-owned businesses that my mom and auntie love to go to. And then finally, don't forget Operation Push as well, which is on the south side of Chicago. So you get to go.
I love that. I love that. I like you, Bradley. You are
Thanks,
spot
likewise.
on. Yes. Miss Christiana Gray.
I would say Kitchen and Cocktails. They have the best macaroni and cheese ever. And then also Gibson's is sort of more known. I think they sell steak, I think. And then also my parents peeked in and told me to correct my previous statement for the website. They said it's not the Awareness Foundation, it's awarenessfound.org.
Awareness Found.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And thank you for this
Got that.
opportunity.
Awarenessfound.org.
Thank you. And last
No,
but
thank
not
you.
least, yes, Mr. Orlando Caesar. What places would you recommend?
Okay, first of all, my brother owns KMT Health Food Store on 75th Street. And that's right down this next block from Soul Vegetarian. So on that little strip there, you can go to Soul Vegetarian, Soul Veg, and then on the other corner, it's KMT Health Food Store. And the medical center there, he owns that too. And I am always going to push people toward STEM. Whatever we can do to get people focused on the scientific area. We're amazingly creative in the arts, but we can also be creative in business and be creative in technology and in science. So that goes to.
But is there something someone can see? These are places where people can go, and if I'm visiting Chicago or Illinois, where can I go?
Say, yeah, the places I mentioned first, but I would always say the Museum of Science and Industry.
Yes. Okay.
That's my STEM location.
Okay.
I was going there since I was 9-10 years old.
Okay. Well, we thank you all for being our guest today on
all
Community
for-
Update 313.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank
You
you.
guys
Be
have
sure
a good
and
one.
tune in.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm sorry. Be sure and tune in. We're on every Thursday evening from 6 to 7 p.m. Tune in on YouTube and all streaming platforms. Share this. Share it. Share it. Share it.